Well, good morning. I want to thank everybody for coming down and being patient. We've done two press releases. Most of you know what we have released so far. I do want to touch base first on the human life in this incident. Mr. Thompson, I did release, was deceased upon our arrival at this location. We still have not received any reports back on the autopsy. I am prepared to release that at this point, due to our preliminary investigations, that we feel that Mr. Thompson died from a self-inflicted wound. We do also feel that he had released these animals at some point. Not only were the gates open, but some of the pens were also cut open. So where if people tried to put the animals back into the pen, they still could have got loose. So I do want to clarify that. I know there was some rumors out there. We are not looking for any suspects in this case at this point. And we do feel that way as a result of our preliminary investigation. To give you an update on numbers, I just left from the top of the hill. It is still not a completely secured area. Highly volatile area. We have several of our deputies, ODNR people up there. Some of our surrounding agencies that are neighboring to us have come in. I am prepared to release right now that we feel comfortable saying that we're at about 43 to 44 of these animals that are accountable for. However, there are still some that we know that we have shot last night that we have not got vehicles down to recover. So of course that number could go up a little bit. We are still hovering around that 48 number to start with. Possibly could have been 51. I'm getting some conflicting reports with some people that used to work here. We are ironing those out right now. Hopefully we'll be able to figure that out. We're recovering these dead animals. We're getting an inventory of what we have, and we're trying to get that number for you to get out to our public. I'll open up to questions, and please, when you ask a question, would you please identify yourself and answer your question? Yes.
Can you talk about why you made the decision to kill these animals rather than tranquilize them and be taken to the
Janelle, it's a very good question. I'll be glad to answer that. When our officers arrived on the scene, we had approximately 1 hour to an hour and a half of daylight. As officers got out of their cruisers, there were animals running loose outside of the fenced area. To set the table for you a little bit, Mr. Thompson had numerous cages up around his house, and that's where these animals were kept at, in the cages. It's a long drive, probably 2 football fields, I would say 3 football fields, up his driveway to his house, down to his front gate. The front gate is just off the main thoroughway there of Kopechek Road. We had animals outside that fenced area along the road that were trying to get loose. I had deputies that had to shoot animals with their sidearms at close range. That's how volatile this situation was. We are not talking about your normal everyday house cat or dog. These are 300-pound Bengal tigers that we've had to put down. When we got here, obviously public safety was my #1 concern. I gave the order on the way here that if animals looked like they were going out, they went down. We could not have animals running loose in this county. We were not going to have that. Once we got here, realized the severity of the situation, we at that point started running into a problem with darkness. Again, we're not going to have animals running loose on this farm at night. We can document numerous animals that got over the fence, were out in the wooded areas outside the property that we've had to put down. We had officers down on the interstate that were preventing animals from crossing the interstate into our subdivisions and in our community. Today, when daytime hit, we went into the area. We've been evaluating and getting head counts. We've been recovering bodies. We just had a huge tiger, an adult tiger, I'm estimating 300 pounds, that was very aggressive. We did get one of the vets close enough, unbelievably so, within 10 to 15 yards, got a tranquilizer in it, and this thing just went crazy. It started to take off. It headed away from us to the wooded area, and our officers put it down. We did not think we could take a chance of whether we got the dart in it, and we could not take a chance on whether the thing would get loose and get out into the neighborhoods. So that's why, that's some of the scenario that went down. The other issue of that, we did not have any tranquilizer darts with us. We do not carry them. We have the wilds in our county that work with us very, very well. They know that if we need them, they'll call. We had them coming immediately, and we had them here in case we did get some animals into subdivisions that was not safe to shoot in, that we could take them out with tranquilizers. Yes, ma'am.
What animals that are still at large, what type of animals? Do you know what they are, or do you have any idea of what you're even looking for?
Right, I cannot answer that question directly. I can tell you that the main focus of animals at this establishment was wolves, all types of cat species. And I'm going to say tigers, Bengal tigers, mountain lions, leopards, and then we had 2 species of bears, grizzly and black bears. Those were the main animals that we have encountered, and that is going to be the type of animal we're looking for once we get a count done. I can tell you also that we did have some sort of cat hit on the interstate by a car, and the Ohio State Highway Patrol was taking care of that accident. The animal was wounded and left there, and they were going to take care of taking and putting it down and getting it back to us for the count.
Sheriff.
Yes.
Tom Borgening, WOSU News in Columbus. Was the Sheriff's Department aware of this compound prior to last night's incident?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For a lot of years.
Did you monitor it then?
We've handled numerous complaints here. We've done numerous inspections here. We've brought in professionals from outside our county to look at this property to make sure it's safe. We've checked to make sure they've had the proper permits and we're legal to have them here. I don't want to, please don't quote me. I'm going to say we've got about 35 calls since 04, 05 area that we've ran on our computer, that we've been to Mr. Thompson's house for some sort of problem with the animals, anywhere from animals running at large to being not treated properly and those such. So this has been a huge problem for us for a lot of years.
Sheriff Dana J, ABC 6 and Fox 28, what's the range that you're looking at right now in terms of where those animals might be?
I'll let maybe Jack answer that as far as how far an animal could travel. I don't want to scare our public yet. We started public service announcements as soon as this happened to get the word out there. Right now, we're just patrolling the main roads around the farm. We had some reports last night as far west as National Road and Ridge Road, even National Road at Mount Perry. I've been in contact with Sheriff Thorpe and Chief Deputy Dennis of Licking County SO. They had some reports on our western end, their eastern end of the county. They had officers out last night. To my knowledge, we did have some sightings, but nothing confirmed by law enforcement.
Sheriff,
Yes, ma'am.
Can you give, I know she talked about location. How far of a distance is that, would you guess? 30 miles?
10 miles. 10 miles probably to Licking County line, close to that.
And secondly, can you talk about the safety issues here? What did you do what measures did you put in place to make sure that the schools were safe and residents out in the area?
Yeah, we were in contact with the West Muskingum School District, the Maysville Local School District, and the Zanesville School District. Either I myself or officers from our office were talking to them. We made the decision to recommend to them to close today. The main impact there is we didn't want kids standing at a bus stop this morning and seeing these big animals walk by and possibly cause them harm. So the school officials were tremendous. They supported us 110%. We worked with them and communicated with them, and it was a group decision that the best interest of everybody in our community.
Sheriff, Jack called this a nightmare. Can you put it into words what your reaction was?
No, I don't know that there is a word for it.
Sheriff, this is Clark Donnelly from 795 in Columbus. How will you know when you have gotten them all?
100%. Don't know that we will. Don't know that we can. I'm working off 2 lists, one of 48 animals, one of 51 animals. Those are from caretakers that have worked on this farm. We currently now are counting heads of the animals that we have, both deceased and that are live in pens, and a simple subtraction from that number. Hopefully, by the time we're done with this press release and before the next one, we can have the other animals that were shot last night recovered, and we can bring them back up to our totals, and we'll have a better idea of exactly how many are unaccounted for.